Hey guys, this is Michael Williams, and this is my library assignment. I am covering The Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. He is the artist. He did a fantastic job. I love the classic newspaper cartoon from like the 60s to the 80s. It was really Archie inspired. So were the characters. Alan Moore was informed by one of the staff members at DC to create his own characters for this story because he wanted to kill some of these characters off, which wasn't an agreeable verbatim due to a source that I looked up online. That the characters that the staff member had suggested that he used, because these characters were purchased by DC for use, or for intended use in other storylines. So Alan Moore created the characters of Rorschach, Dr. Manhattan, Sully Jupiter, Night Owl, and Osmodius? Yes, Osmandius. Supposedly the smartest person in this alternative United States history in a nuclear war between the Soviets and the U.S. That's the setting of the story. Those are the characters. The story is not really, well, I guess it is a compilation. It wasn't strictly written as a graphic novel. It was written in 12 issues from September 1986 to October 1987. It was then repurposed later. I believe it was 2003 as a graphic novel. It won the Hugo Award. It appeared in 2005 on Times Magazine's 100 Best English Literature since 1923's list, which I think is an outstanding achievement that I guess only 100 people were awarded for. That is current to my knowledge. Now, I don't know if this is still the only graphic novel that ever won the Hugo Award. I don't know if this is the only graphic novel who ever made Times Magazine's second 100 list from 1923, best English literature since then to current, which is, now 14 years later. So anyway, the story begins as the comedian is murdered, who we later is discovered by Osmodius, for meticulous reasons, who thinks he's smarter than everybody on the planet and uses this for personal gain due to some petty arguments between him and a lot of the characters from the Crime Busters, and even more so the original characters who inspired this group of heroes to come together back in the days, which is concurrently in 85, which is where the story begins. But a lot of this addresses all the drama that takes place in between 1944 all the way up to the 70s. Rorschach is a dark, distant human being who pretty much sees the world for what it is in all of its realism. And he's dark, he's gritty. I think the story is more about, it's definitely about politics. It's definitely a meatier side of the medium. But man, does Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons project and present this in such a way that it is very deserving in all the awards that it has received. I got it for $5.99 at Comixology.com. You guys should grab a copy, especially for you comic fans or anybody who wants to write in the comic medium. So this is the beginning of chapter 1. As you can see here, there's a lot of jumping back and forth between present and past tense. Dave Gibbons and Alan Moore use the panels here really well with the dialogue. The transitions between past and present really put things in perspective, and it actually provides a really great visual, aside from what the comic gives you, because I'm a visual thinker. Of course, we're all writers, we have that ability, but when especially right here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at panel 7 right here, you can see the beginning of the comedian being thrown through the window and the glass just bursting. And then I have visuals on, like in the movie, where the glass just shatters thanks to great CGI and technology. And then the combination of that in my mind, which I can't project on paper or really find words to describe how cool it is to have that experience. So as far as, in our assignment for answering the letterhead, does it make sense? And do you get a sense of where and, what the characters are doing? Yes. And this is consistent, throughout the entire comic. I mean, you can see here that really great visual that was just set up so perfectly in the movie too. I know Alan Moore would probably delete this video and never watch it again should he ever watch this, because he never wanted anything to do with the movies. And in fact, as far as early as the 90s, they've been trying to make a movie of this comic IP, and only because of the success of Marvel Studios MCU in the early 2000s with Iron Man and Thor, Captain America, did Watchmen ever become a thing. So you can thank comics for the MCU and this movie being made. Just really great art. I love how they don't always use the same panel set for every page. thank God for Dave Gibbons, I guess, especially since, in the first week, Master Man had that video where he showed us about 6 pages of the first page of the first chapter of Watchmen, and it was just nothing but just text, 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 and descriptive writing, like the Edgar Allan Poe of comics. And that's one of the reasons why I felt so intimidated once I found out this was 415 pages. But thank God for Dave Gibbons, man. He took that script and he wrote it. I don't know. Those two were on a level of synchronicity that some people just dream of having. You can see right here how the panels help explain distance. They tell the story. There's no dialogue here whatsoever. From Rorschach on the ground to looking up from where the comedian was found to inside his apartment window right here. Just great effective use of Scott McCloud's example of transitioning. So yeah, I'm just gonna share a few more pages of the chapter. These guys get an idea